There are 10 things that travelers do when going through airport security that will trigger an alarm and lead to additional screening. These simple mistakes are so easy to avoid, and knowing them is going to save you from the stress and the wasted time and embarrassment of having your body or your belongings manually searched. The first thing that is going to set off an alarm in the security screening area would be carrying prohibited items with you in your carry-on backpack or suitcase. If you have anything that's not allowed on an airplane, like liquids over 3.4 ounces, sharp objects, or anything flammable, they will likely trigger an alarm as your baggage goes through the X-ray scanner. Your belongings will then be manually searched and the prohibited items will be thrown away. Another common reason that a bag will trigger an alarm while going through the security X-ray scanner is if you have improper packing of items that you are allowed to bring with you. This is most relevant for your carry-on liquids as they need to be in a single, clear, and sealed Ziploc bag that follows the 3-1-1 liquids rule. The third reason that a traveler may have their belongings searched by a TSA agent would be if the X-ray scanner picked up something that looked like a prohibited item in their belongings. An example is tuna cans, or anything that is wrapped in foil, since many metals form a shield around objects, making it impossible for the scanning equipment to peer through and identify the item. So avoid packing anything that's metal, or remove these from your suitcase and place them into the screening bin so it is easy for an agent to see exactly what the item is. Not following TSA guidelines, such as removing all electronics and all liquids from your backpack and placing them into the screening bin, is another reason that your bag may trigger an alarm and require a search. I can't tell you how many times I have forgotten about a water bottle with this much liquid in the bottom inside of my backpack, put it through the scanner, and ended up triggering that alarm, requiring a search of everything I am traveling with. Not worth it. You are also allowed to bring solid food with you through TSA security and onto the airplane, but food items may be subject to an additional search and therefore trigger that alarm as your bag goes through the scanner. This rule can be frustrating since it is inconsistent. Sometimes you need to take food items out of your bag for the agents to inspect, and sometimes you don't. I like to be prepared for this by packing all of my solid food items in a large, clear Ziploc bag. This way, if an agent did request to see any food that I was carrying, I could very easily pull all of it out together instead of requiring them to search through all of my belongings to find the food. You may also get flagged for additional screening if you are caught using your phone while in the TSA line. You'll usually see signs that state no photos and no video recording in the screening area. Having your phone out means that there will be a set of eyes on you to make sure that you are following this rule. Being on your phone can also be considered a suspicious behavior, which is another reason why someone may be flagged for additional screening. Many travelers, including myself, find the airport experience to be stressful, but you want to try to manage your stress and avoid looking stressed out, suspicious, or like you have something to hide. And more often than not, if a traveler does look like they have something to hide, it's because we have something that we maybe don't want a TSA agent to see, something we're traveling with that we might be embarrassed about, as opposed to something that is dangerous. If you are in that situation, don't worry, the TSA agents have seen it all, and it is your nervousness about them finding things in your bag that is going to make you look suspicious and require that extra search. And then in addition to your items going through the X-ray scanner, you yourself will also have to walk through a body scanner, and what you are wearing may trigger an alarm. Clothing with metal zippers or snaps, sequins, and even belt buckles can be picked up on the body scanner and require you to have a manual scan or pat-down. TSA agents may also ask you to remove things like your shoes or an outer layer as you go through the body scanner. Refusing to do so is a surefire way to end up having a manual scan instead. Another reason you may have to have a manual scan would be if you failed to completely empty your pockets before going through the body scanner. Simply having some leftover coins or tissue paper in your back pocket could trigger the alarm. And a simple but important one, refusing to go through the body scanner at all is of course going to lead to either a pat-down or a manual scan. Using an invalid or an expired piece of ID is another reason that many travelers end up pulled aside for additional questioning and screening. I once tried to fly with a driver's license that I didn't realize had just expired. In addition to having to show a new piece of ID, the TSA agent told me that it was protocol to now have some additional questions asked as well as have my belongings searched before I could leave the security area and head to my gate. You may also need to undergo a manual search of your body and your belongings if you are pre-selected for screening before you even get into the security line. There are a few reasons that you may be selected, such as traveling with large amounts of cash, having a history of prior security incidents, if you have unusual travel patterns or are flying on a one-way ticket, or if you match the profile of a known threat or someone that is on a government watch list. Or you may just be unlucky today and be pre-selected for a random search. You can usually tell if you are going to need to go through additional screening or questioning at the security area if you see the code SSSS on your boarding pass. That sucks. Best of luck avoiding these airport security red flags on your next trip, and I hope you'll subscribe to join us back here for more travel tips next week. Bye!